Now, note, I've times this with this now. And when I times this with this, we get 43,200. This is what I actually get. And the next thing, E2, divide this by this. Please follow that. If you press all this in calculator, you might likely get wrong answer. So, press that. What would that be? It will be 43,200 divided by 50. Divided by 50, we get what? 864 times. This can settle this. Or you do it like this. This, pick 110 here. I'm picking 110. This is minus 6. From the law of, since it is, we have the same base, we are picking one base. Divide, we change to minus. This is minus sign. Open the bracket, minus 6. This will now be E2 now, will be 864. I know you know understand how I get it under indices. Times 10 raised to power minus 6. Minus times minus will give us what? Plus. Then 6. Minus 6 plus 6, it will be 0. And 10 raised to power 0, it is what? 1. 1 times all this, it is 864. Now let's check. What will be the SI unit now? E2 will be what? 800 and what? 864. What will be the SI unit for E? It is Newton per coulombs. You know all the SI unit is. What will be the correct answer here? The correct answer is what? Sorry, this is 864. Sorry, 864. Sorry, let me confirm the calculation something. 800. Sorry, this is 864. So the correct answer is D. And I hope you get how I was able to what? Do this thing. So that this is another a review question, jam pass question under the topic that we are actually discussing. Please don't forget to like, share to the needies, and please save those people that they are actually preparing for the. This might be the question that they might ask them, and for them to score high mark, it might be this last question they will ask them, and they will be able to get good grade and pick the choice of their want. Are we together? Now note, if two charge plates are maintained at potential difference, PD, potential difference. I told you PD means what? V, electric potential, EMF, or what? Or voltage, or electromotive force. They use different names. What do they use here? PD, potential difference, which is known as electric potential. Let me write the data given, which is, what would that be? PD, potential difference, which is the same thing as V, equals to what? 3 kilovolts. And if you don't want to still use this, check the SI unit, kilovolts. Volt that is there, it will tell you that it is electric potential that they are actually discussing. But you have to find a means to erase this kilo. How do you erase that? Know that anything kilogram means times 1000. So this will be 3 times, because you can't use this 3 directly. 3 times what? 1000. You are changing it from kV to ordinary V. Remain ordinary V there. Because K is standing for 1000. So you times this one by 1000. This will now be 3 times 1000. 3000 volts. So this is your PD now that you are going to use, which is V. The second one, what is that? The work done in taking a charge of, C, charge, even if they didn't signify charge. Check this SI unit. C. This is telling you that this particular parameters is what? Charge. What is the symbol for charge? Q equals to what? 600 UC. I told you that you can't use UC. You have to convert it to what? This is microcoulombs. Change it to coulomb by multiplying it with 10 times 10 raised to power minus 6. 600 times 10 raised to power what? Minus 6. Remain what? We will be left with C. Are we? Now the next thing, across the feed is, that means here, basically we are given 2 parameters. What is this third parameters that they mention here and we are not given the value? It is work done. You make work done. That is what they ask you to calculate. Or no. Now recall, I have explained the formula for calculating potential difference. Are we together? And I've explained the formula for calculating work done, where we actually discussed that potential difference, the first formula under this episode that we do, episode 4 or 5. I said V can be ER. I've explained that V Another V can still be W. If I didn't say it, I'm saying it now. W over Q. I think I slot in this one there. Work done over Q. And now note, these are the parameters they were given. To you, what is the formula we are going to use here in calculating work done? And note, this work done that we are given, I told you the formula for work done is EQD. But do we have electric field intensity here? No. E, we don't have it. Do we have distance here? No. So this formula, we can't use it to calculate work done. It depends on the question that you are given for you to be able to use this formula. This formula that I stated earlier is when you have in your parameters, you have your E, you have your R. Then you can use this one and you have your charge. But here we only have V and Q. So you can't use this for calculating work done. You will go for this. By what? Cross multiply, make work done. Since it is this that we have to calculate. W times 1 will give us what? W. V times Q will give us what? V what? VQ. So this is the formula you will use in calculating work done. Now work done now will now be, what is our V? 3000. Which is the potential difference. What is the sign that is joining them? Times. Times. What is our Q? Q is what? What is our Q? 600 times 10 raised to power what? Minus 6. Now let's do a mathematical expression there. Now, when we times 30,000, times 600, firstly leave this one. When you times this, this is the what we get. And this is the remaining one, this is what I put. But this can't be the answer, because there is not even the option there here. You have to find a means to change this to proper standard form. How do you change that? Make this particular whole number, make it a standard form. Where is the point? The point here stands from the back, because the real number starts from 1 and 8. 0 is not a real number. It's a number, but it's not a real number. Real number are 1, 2, 3, upward. So we see 1 and 8 here. But the point is from here, where you have 0. So the point starts from here, based on standard form. Then be bringing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, onto the real number. The real number is in between 1 and 8. So therefore, W will be 1.8. But how many times do we draw that? We drew that in what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. You will now say times 10 raised to power. Is it going front or backward? This point here is moving forward. It is plus 6. You just say 10 raised to power 6. If it is backward, maybe this 0 are at the front of 1 and 8. So it will be going like this, minus 6. So therefore, it will now be times, we have 10 raised to power 6 here already, minus 6 here already. So this is this. Then law of indices. Find a means. Let me clean this up. Find a means to compute this. Since you can't find that, it will now be W now will be what now? 1.8 times law of indices. 10, we have 10 here, peak, the same base, and we have the same power. But we don't mind the power. Since we have the same base, pick one base, which is pick 110. What do we have here? We have plus 6. Pick it. Times we change to what? Plus in law of indices. While minus 6, you open a bracket in order to separate this sign from this one. Minus 6 here. It will now be W now will now be, which is work done, equals 1.8 times 10 raised to power. What do we have here? 6. Plus times minus will be minus. Then we have 6 here. Plus 6. This is plus 6. Plus 6 minus this, we get 0. W will now be 1.8 times 10 raised to power what? 10 raised to power. Let me clean this one as well. 1.6 times 10 raised to power what? 0. And note, law of indices say anything raised to power 0 is what? 1. 10 raised to power 0 is 1. Wherever I'm saying 10 raised to power 0, what will I be put in 1? W will now be 1.8 times 10 raised times 1, which will now be 1.8 times 1 will give us 1.8. But what will be the SI unit? In physics, SI unit matters a lot. Even if you see the option and you see 1.8, then they didn't put the SI unit. And you see 1.8, they put SI unit. You go for the one that they put SI. It will be work done. It is energy. It is joule. So let's go for an option that has 1.8 here. It is not this one. Option A, it is 9.0. Option B is 0.8 joule. Option C, 18.0 joule. Option C is 1.8 joule. The correct answer is what? D. That is that. Let's say another question. Now, this is another question. JAMB 2011, question number 30. The correct expression for the potential, which is the same thing as electric potential, PD, V, at a point, distance they are relating it with distance. That means your formula must have distance, which is r, and q, which is distance and q. If it is E and D, they ask you to relate it to, it's another formula. The V will be E and D ordinarily. But here, the formula must have Q inside and must also have what? D inside, which is R. Have we? So it is this formula we are going to still use, but we have to break it down in order to get all this answer. So in distance R from a charge Q in an electric field is what? Just note that what they ask you is the formula for PD in terms of R and what Q. Formula for voltage, electromotive force, for potential difference, for electric potential. See potential there. That's what they are. In terms of, you must prove it until you get something that will be R and Q. That will be related to R and Q, not E and D. Have we? So we still use. Note that V equals to E. There is the solution. So formula, that is what they ask here. E equals to D. I've proved it in my video. But let's just do it together. Go and check it very well. Wherever I'm seeing E now, what will I be putting? Which is electric field intensity. It is Q all upon what? 4 pi E naught R squared. Are we together? E and D, what is? I've proved this already. That is the third formula for calculating V. What is joining E and D together? It is times. I told you D will change to what? D will change to R. So one thing is that, now let's cancel what is appropriate to cancel. This is R. R can settle one R here. We are left with how many R? V will now be Q all upon 4 pi E naught. We are left with only one R. That is the final answer here. So that is why I said, that is the reason why I firstly derive all the formulas. This question now is a jamb question. It's asking us about the formula used in calculating electric potential in terms of Q and R. So all you need, cram this E. This is what I inputted. Where I'm seeing you, I inputted all this. Q all upon 4 pi E naught, permittivity R squared. Multiply by what is our D? Wherever I'm seeing there, I'll be putting R. Cancel it. Now let's see. I will go for option that has this. You can see all these options, they are related, but this can never be. This is Q squared. This is not even Q squared. That has gone. This is ordinary Q. They resemble one another, but let's check the denominator. 4 pi, E naught, but this is R squared. This is ordinary R. This is not the answer. This is not this. What follow? This is Q squared. This is Q. This cannot be the answer. So the last correct option is D, which is Q, 4 pi, E naught, R. That is just that under that. So please try and comprehend the question before you answer it.